OBS, why aren't you working? I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that really quick. Oh, don't email that. Private note. Create an invoice for this. Okay, that one's in the cart, ready to go. So there's that guy. Replace the charge jack on a 2020 14-inch Acer Swift. So that's done. Okay to send that invoice. Repair complete. Copy that. Make invoice. Paste email. Repair complete. Okay. So we've repaired 2 computers today so far. Alright, which brings us to the guy in the bench right now. We have a lowly little A1708 13-inch MacBook Pro function key model. Issue is no backlight. Typically on these, no backlight means the LCD backlight cable is usually broken on these, also known as Flexgate. So we'll investigate and see if that's the case. As you can see, the computer is working. Doesn't have a backlight, which is weird because the backlight hardly ever fails on these machines. Except, of course, for the previously mentioned Flexgate issue. This computer has got dirt and grime all over it. Very disgusting little MacBook. That's why I have gloves on. This MacBook is well used, well loved. We're going to go ahead and remove the screws. This is going to be repaired in the next video. It's one of my USB-C ammeters and cold solder joints from the factory. Needless to say, the connector is busted off. I've already fixed like 2 of those of mine. This will be the 3rd one. It's almost like when I buy those, I just need to open them up and fix the cold solder joints immediately. Anyway. We're going to go ahead and quickly diagnose this and see if we can't repair it. Get our suction cups here. I know some people don't use suction cups. They just pry on this or just rip it up with their fingernails or whatever, but I think this is the safest way for my skin on my fingers. Except for when the suction cup does that. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate. Alright, you're fired. You're fired, little suction cup. Goodbye. Got one that doesn't want to stick at all and one that doesn't want to come off. Alright. So here's the inside of our little MacBook. Looks like it's been worked on before. It's missing the cover for the battery. We're going to go ahead and, speaking of battery, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the battery. We don't want to be testing things with the battery plugged in. Okay, power is gone. So I guess the first thing we should do is pull up the old microscope and check the, you know what, we're going to remove this little bar. We're going to remove the little bar on the flexes to see if we can see if this has Flexgate. Which I don't think it does, because even when you crack the LCD open a little bit, the backlight doesn't show up. And here's our subject cable that tends to always be cracked, and it doesn't look cracked to me. No, it looks healthy. I forgot what year this is. Is this a 2017 or a 2016? 2016. So yeah, this is like notorious suffering from Flexgate, but I don't think it is. Is that cable looks good, like that usually breaks right here, but I don't see any cracks. So let's go over to the backlight circuit and check that. We'll check that for shorts. I'm going to go ahead and put this bar back on. Wow, me and T3 screws do not get along. Way too small. Alright, we're going to pull out the multimeter and test the backlight circuit and see if we have a short. Okay. Put the red probe on ground. We're in diode mode. I believe this side is ground. Yep. And what do you know? We have a short on backlight output. Let's go to resistance mode. We're going to go to resistance mode. So that's ground, and then on the output we have 11 ohms. That's way too low. Should be about, you know, kilo ohms, in the kilo ohms range. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and remove the LCD ribbon cable from the board, the little cable that goes from the board, T-con board to the logic board, to see if the LCD itself has a blown backlight, like if the LCD is shorted or not. And if that's not the case, then it looks like we probably have a shorted output, shorted filter cap. Alright, now that we did that, you're not paying attention. Focus up here, you. So we undid this ribbon cable here. Doesn't appear like anything shady going on there. See anything stuck in there? It looks nice. Okay, we're going to measure resistance again. And our resistance is still 11.7 ohms, so our LCD is not to blame. So chances are we have a burnt capacitor. I'm going to go ahead and switch to overhead because that means we're going to be pulling the logic board out. Let's see if we can't put eyes. Oh wait, what am I doing? I gotta pull the logic board out and put that back on. You've got to remove the logic board, silly. So all this stuff has to go. Time is it? It's late. It's late and I'm super tired. I'm trying to get this done quickly if I can. Whoops. Alright, need a T4, T5, T5. Looks like a T5 will work for that. I'll show you, I'll turn the microscope camera back on in a second and show you. All the filter caps. There's a row of filter caps on the backlight output. There's a row on this side of the logic board, and there's a row on the opposite side of the board as well. So we're gonna have to look at both rows under the microscope to see if we can find a cracked capacitor. Chances are, if we're lucky, chances are that's what it'll be. It'll be a cracked output cap that we can replace real quick, and this person will be able to use their computer again. Alright. Looks like we missed one screw. Just kind of wiggle our board, see if it comes out. Looks like we're all good. And we're out. Alrighty, excellent. Put the chassis in a semi-safe place. Move our screwdrivers, and we'll go back to microscope cam and I'll show you what I was talking about. So I have the board flipped the wrong way. Right here is a row of filter caps. So we can zoom in and see if any of them are cracked. None of them are cracked. Oop. Be focus for you. None of them are cracked, but This looks kind of shiny. I don't know if this has been messed with before. I'd imagine so if the battery cover's missing. I imagine this computer's probably been messed with before. So none of these look cracked or anything. You can see some dried up liquid stuff behind. This might light up all the way. Of course not. And then on the other side of the board, we have a whole nother row of caps. I think they're a 2.2 mic, something like that. Nothing looks super suspicious here. We're gonna take some alcohol and clean these. Do it to the other side too. Well, you know what? This capacitor on the end. This capacitor on the end's got a real dark end cap to it. I wonder if this one's been overheated. I think it might have a crack in it. It does. It's cracked. I think we found it. Let's see if I can darken this up so you can see it. I'm going to try to zoom in real close to... Oh yeah, you can see the cracks right there. Microscopes are awesome for finding broken components. And you see it? It looks like the shape of an X right there. You can see it right there. Cracked. Cracked all right there. I guess we got lucky on this one. Sometimes you can see the cracks, sometimes you cannot, and you have to inject voltage, but this, you know, that dark colored end cap is kind of a dead giveaway there. And then also you can see that little microscopic crack. I mean, you can see that with a naked eye. There's no way. Hello. I may crack in your capacitor. I'm here to ruin your day. Let me see if I can take a snippet of this. Thumbnail. Angry looking capacitor. Alright. Well, we're going to go ahead and knock him off the board and check our backlight output again and see if our short is relieved. Pardon the scratch. I have facial hair and it itches. You know what? This one's kind of dark too. If we should zoom in on that one and see if it's cracked as well. No. I don't see any fractures in that one. I wonder if they had backlight problems before. Uh-oh. We lost our little rubber things from our USB-C ports. Make sure we don't lose those. Don't want anyone getting mad. Alright, we're going to turn on the noisy fume extractor. And bid this capacitor a farewell. Sorry, buddy, your time is done. See if I can darken this up a little bit. Alright, let's get rid of him, huh? Actually, I'm going to turn this a little bit. Get my fume extractor closer. Grab the tweezers, the hot air, and let's go for it. Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Before we do that, I'm going to remove the SSD. Or you know what? We can do this without hot air, so we don't have to remove the SSD. We'll do this with just solder. We'll make it fun. This will be for you guys who don't have hot air stations, and for people who think that you need a hot air station to do this stuff. We just created a bridge, but that's okay because those capacitors are the same value on the same circuit. Can we get this big capacitor off here? Whoops. End up cracking it. Okay, never mind. We'll do hot air. Alright, let's see. We'll wait for the fume extractor to turn, or the hot air gun to turn off, and see if we still have a short. I have a feeling we will not. I have a feeling this is going to be fixed, and we're going to have a nice bright backlight. And then the screen will die in 6 months from Flexgate. Don't want to jinx myself now. Alright, let's see. What is our resistance to ground now? Wait, I gotta pull up the schematic and see if I'm measuring which side is ground and which side is the LCD backlight output. This is an A170840 board. Or is it an 875? It's an 875. Okay, looks like the bottom, where we're looking at, the bottom is, this side is ground, this side is backlight output. So you had 0 ohms to ground, dead short. And we're now at 600 kilo ohms. 400 kilo ohms. So we have removed our short on our backlight circuit, which is great. Now we have a bag of replacement capacitors that we will put a new one on. We will clean and test. C8466. You are the culprit. And you are 2.2 microfarad, 100 volt, 1206 size capacitor. And I just happen to have a bag of those. Aha! We have lots. Yay! Yeah, have quite a few of them. So let's replace that little guy, shall we? And move on with our lives. I said lives, not lies. I dropped the capacitor on the floor. Most technicians would just go grab another one and move on, but I can't do that. Found him. You're going to go on this board whether you like it or not. Put a slightly healthier capacitor on. Whoopsie. A little bit of flux. Okay. I've had enough of that. We're gonna do it this way. Quit messing around. Messing around, Tim. Let's get this done. This capacitor really does not want to go on this board. Not sure why. He came off of an Apple product. A little too much solder. That'll work. Close enough. Nobody's ever going to look at this board inside the computer and question the soldering. And just as a sanity check, we will measure our resistance of ground to ground again once we're done. It's kind of a sanity check here. Alright, well, let's check our resistance to ground. Black probe on the ground. And we're settling on 425,000 ohms. Our short is gone. We're going to take this logic board Put it back in the chassis. And see if we have a backlight. Do we have a happy backlight or do we have a sad computer? My money is on having a backlight. It's nice to get a somewhat straightforward repair for once. All I've been getting is nightmares. For computer fixes lately. It's nice to have a straightforward repair once in a great while. Okay, what are we're on stuck on the speaker cable here. Alright. Just for my sanity, we're going to plug a few things in, maybe throw a couple screws in. Where's my spudger? Come on, little Wi-Fi connector. I need you to go in. Ha. Sense of touch works. T5. Where is our end screw here? Make sure our logic board doesn't come flying out. You know what? I'm gonna clean up a little bit around the the CD3215 or Thunderbolt ROM or whatever it is. Alright. What else? What else? What else? We're going to go ahead and put this bracket in too. Just for the heck of it. And I'm going to put the bracket on the LCD connector because I don't want that popping off while we're testing. Shorting anything out, I just get, it's never happened to me, but I get worried. Plug our battery info cable in. And what the heck, we'll plug the battery in as well. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I could probably put this whole computer back together right now. But I don't want this video going past 40 minutes. Alright, let's turn it on and see what happens. Make sure I protect my customer's privacy. Oh, I guess it's turning on by itself. We have a backlight. We have a backlight. Yep, and we have somebody's name, so I'm not going to reveal that. But as you can see, we have a fully working backlight circuit. So let's see if that's weird. I've never seen a pure gray screen before. Anyway, yes, we have a working backlight. So we're going to go ahead and shut this down to protect customer privacy. And we're going to call an end to this video. So it looks like we just had C8466 on our PPV out SO LCD backlight circuit, which is the circuit that outputs our 25 to 50 volts or whatever to our LCD screen to output backlight. So we had a short on there, one of those capacitors. Anyway, if you found this useful at all, give it a thumbs up. And if you need your MacBook or laptop or game console repaired, send us an email at support@optimizedlogicrepair.com. And have a good night, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.